If a man ignores you, you do not stoop to petty revenge. You do not shout. You do not play childish games. You do not try to destroy someone else to feel whole again. That's weak. That's temporary. That's drunk on hurt. What you do is something far stronger and far smarter. You rebuild yourself so well that his absence becomes a mirror that reflects what he squandered. You step into your worth with such clarity that his ignoring you stops being about him and starts being about who you've chosen to be. That is power. That is dignity. That is the kind of reaction that changes lives, not just feelings. Hear me. Ignoring is not your invitation to panic. It's not your permission to lose your mind. It is a moment of clarity. It is a test. It is a crossroads. You can choose to stay small and beg for attention, or you can choose to grow large enough that attention chases you. And growth is always the better option. When somebody ignores you, they reveal something about them, not about you. They reveal inconsistency, immaturity, fear, or selfishness. But more than revealing that, they give you a gift, the chance to reclaim your time, your peace, and your purpose. So what do you do first? You breathe. You stop right now and take a breath. Reactions are easy. The impulse to text, to call, to dramatize, those are easy. Strength is rare. Choose strength. Choose to be composed. Silence is not passive. Silence is a strategy. Silence preserves your dignity. Silence gives you space to think, plan, and move from a place of power rather than panic. Next, you set a boundary. Boundaries are not manipulative. They are clarifying. Let him know what you will accept. Say it quietly to yourself first. I will not chase what is not coming. Repeat it until it is truth. Then decide practical boundaries. No midnight text to explain your value. No waiting by the phone for every small notification. No rearranging your life to be available for a man who treats you like an option. Boundaries teach people how to treat you. If you do not set them, you will be treated as though you have none. Then you live. Do not sit in negotiation with a ghost. Live loud and unapologetically. Your calendar is your power. Fill it with things that make you better, stronger, and happier. Workouts, projects, friends, hobbies, career moves, laughter, travel, learning. Make your life an honest, irresistible invitation. When he sees that you move forward with purpose, that you are not stalled waiting on replies, that your worth exists independent of his recognition, that is what will start to pierce the ego armor of a man who ignored you. Work on your mind. Growth is not just physical. Read, learn, build a skill, grow competence in something that matters to you. When you become resourceful and interesting, your energy shifts. Men are drawn to women who carry competence and curiosity because that woman is building a life, not renting attention. Your future should look bright even without him in it. That brightness becomes a magnet and a mirror both. Reclaim your circle. Surround yourself with people who elevate you, not people who humiliate you into staying small. Real friends will remind you of your value. They will help you laugh. They will call you out when you slip into chasing behavior. They will hold you accountable to your standards. Toxic friends keep you stuck in nostalgia. Upgrade your company and your conversations. Clean your space. Sounds small, but environment matters. Clean spaces calm the mind. A tidy home, fresh sheets, plants, light, these things restore a woman. When your environment reflects your self-respect, you feel it. You carry yourself like someone who cares for her life. That care resonates. It says you are worthy of being cherished because you cherish yourself. That's irresistible. Invest in your health. Eat well. Sleep. Move. Invest. When you feel strong, you act strong. There is no replacement for the confidence that comes from physical well-being. Men notice energy. They notice how a woman treats her body. Treat yourself like the temple you are. Not to please someone else, but because you owe it to you. Practice emotional solitude. That's not loneliness. That's maturity. It's the ability to be okay without external validation. It is the capacity to enjoy your own company. This is where peace grows. When your inner world is rich, The silence of someone else becomes less of a wound and more of a weather pattern that passes. You will learn to be whole on your own terms. Be public about your life, private about your pain. That's wisdom. Share achievements, trips, growth on your social life. Don't air grievances or humiliation in public. People respect composure. Men respect that discipline. Posting success without desperation signals the message I'm thriving. If he notices, he will wonder where his place is in that story. He will feel the absence. He will see the life he walked away from. Stop checking his social. Obsessive scrolling is a trap. It is a spiral that steals dignity and time. Replace that habit with creation. Write, cook, call a friend, build something. When your hands are busy with building, your mind heals and your heart regains control. Don't give your peace to an algorithm or to the ghost of someone who decided to be absent. Keep your words measured. If you must speak, speak with clarity and directness, not with begging. If you need to set a boundary, say it plainly once. If he answers with respect, great. If he answers with avoidance or excuses, you have your sign. Don't waste your breath on performances. The woman who demands more from someone by simply showing her standards quietly is the woman who shifts the dynamic. Men respond to clarity. Confusion is the enemy of respect. Now let's talk about respect. Respect is the backbone of lasting attraction. If he ignores you, he is disrespecting the basic currency of any relationship, reciprocity. Your response is not to try to humiliate him back. Your response is to raise your standard and to live so respect is clearly non-negotiable. When he sees that you will not compromise self-respect for momentary attention, he either joins you or he exits. That's his choice. Your choice is your peace. Don't weaponize silence into manipulation. There is a difference between preserving dignity and punishing like a child. Manipulation is reactive. Strategy is proactive. Your strategy is to center your healing around growth and life improvement. The man who misses that will have to wrestle with his own choices. The man who learns will return with accountability, humility, and commitment. That's the outcome you want if anyone returns their grown-up presence, not their apology theater. Work on joy. Genuine joy is different from temporary fun. Joy is rooted in contentment. Joy that's visible in your laugh, in your ease, shows that your happiness does not depend on the person who ignored you. A man who sees this feels the loss of a warm, consistent presence that once fed him. There is no cruelty in choosing joy. There is only strength in refusing to collapse. Reclaim sexual sovereignty. Too many women think sex is leverage. It isn't. Sex is sacred. Your choice to be intimate is not currency to be spent in a bidding war. If he ignored you, your sexuality does not owe him explanation. Your power is choosing when and with whom you let intimacy happen, because that choice comes from your self-respect, not from punishment. A woman who preserves her dignity in the bedroom and in life commands more long-term respect than one who uses intimacy as a bargaining chip. Invest in your image as a reflection of your standards, not because you need validation from others, but because presentation matters in how you feel. Dress with care, move with intention, speak with polite confidence. When you feel elevated, your energy changes. People, including the man who ignored you, will feel that change. They will notice something different, though it won't be about your clothes. It will be about the way you carry value. Let go of fantasy. Many people spend months, years, or even lifetimes attached to a fantasy of what someone could become. That is grief without growth. The present moment is where truth lives. If he is absent now, build your life there. Don't relocate your emotional economy to a hypothetical future where he wakes up. Live in the reality that honors your time and energy right now. Become relentless about your goals. Nothing sends a clearer message than progress. Whether it is a promotion, a fitness goal, a creative project, or traveling somewhere you've dreamed about, progress says you are moving forward no matter what. When he sees concrete evidence of your upward movement, you unlock something in his mind, the realization that he is no longer the center. That realization can wake pride and regret, but that's his inner work to process. Yours is to keep moving. Practice forgiveness for your own sake. Forgiveness is not about letting him off the hook. It's about freeing yourself. Holding on to bitterness is staying small. Forgive to unshackle yourself and to be ready for greater things. Forgiveness clears space for new joy and healthier people. It dissolves the heavy gravity of anger so you can rise. Be prepared for two outcomes and be okay with either. Outcome one, he recognizes his error, shows growth, and returns as a mature partner committed to reciprocity and respect. Outcome two, he doesn't change or comes back only to repeat the pattern. Both outcomes reveal truth. Both are manageable when you built a life that is not dependent on his reaction. If he returns grown, you decide if his growth aligns with your standards. If he does not, you are already thriving and don't need to force attachment to someone who won't match your integrity. Guard your story. Don't let gossip, social media chatter, or rumors dictate how you feel. You know your truth. Keep it sacred. Share with those who love you well. Use your story as a lesson in growth, not a trophy for validation. Privacy is royalty. People respect what's not given away for free. Use your voice when necessary and always with composure. If he ignored you and you need closure, ask for a conversation that is clear and calm. Say what you need to say. Listen for accountability. If there's genuine change, consider it. If there's more avoidance and childish deflection, move on. Your boundaries are a contract you make with yourself. Be financially independent. Nothing kills illusions faster than financial stability. When you own your resources and your choices, you are free. Financial independence is one practical way to refuse desperation. It says, I can survive, I can thrive, and I will not beg. That power changes how people interact with you. It levels the playing field. Learn to love loudly and wisely. Loving someone doesn't mean losing yourself. Love becomes a force of invitation, not clinging. When your love is wise, you give space and ask for respect. If someone ignores you, your wise love asks you to protect your life. A wise lover values integrity over excuses. Stay humble about your growth. Pride is a trap. Humility grounds you. It keeps you open to real reflection. You can stand tall and still be soft. Softness does not equal weakness. The woman who balances strength with warmth is the one who heals relationships or leaves them with dignity intact. Practice radical reliability. Be the kind of woman whose word is gold. When you commit, you show up. That kind of consistency contrasts starkly with someone who disappears. The man who ignored you will be forced to reckon with the difference between someone who is solid and someone who is not. Your reliability will either inspire his return in truth or further expose his absence as a lack of maturity. Write a new story about your worth. Storytelling matters. The narrative you accept determines your life. Stop narrating your life as a series of losses. Start narrating it as a series of decisions to honor yourself. Speak the story of someone who refuses to negotiate dignity for attention. Tell that story aloud until it becomes the truth you live. Celebrate small wins. Each step away from chasing and toward thriving is a win. Celebrate it. Treat yourself to small, meaningful rewards. Those celebrations build momentum. Momentum creates visible change. Visible change captures attention. Attention, when earned through dignity and growth, is always more convincing than any plea. Practice curiosity about life, not fixation about him. Curiosity opens doors. Fixation closes them. Ask questions about what you want next. Explore interests you ignored for the sake of the relationship. That exploration expands you. It reshapes your priorities. When a man realizes you've cultivated a life of curiosity and value, he either wants to be part of it on equal terms or he exits. Both are fine. Both are freeing. Relearn your standards and keep them non-negotiable. Standards are not cruel. They are a protection of your future self. When someone ignores you, you double down on the standards that safeguard respect. You will not accept the bait of charm without change. You will not confuse apologies with evidence. You will expect consistency and follow through. Stay visible in your wins, invisible in your wounds. The world notices energy. Broadcast your wins. Be quiet with pain. There's strategy in that silence. You don't need the world to validate your hurt. You need the world to witness your rise. When people see your ascent, the man who ignored you is forced to notice without you having to beg for his gaze. Practice presence. Presence is magnetic. Learn to be present with your friends, family, work, and yourself. When you show a man that your presence is already full and nourishing, he cannot treat you like an afterthought. Presence teaches him he was once part of something consistent and warming. Realizing the loss of that presence awakens regret. But you don't cultivate regret. You cultivate life if you choose to reconnect. Make sure your terms are non-negotiable. If he shows up again, don't take him back simply because he feels guilty. Look for the patterns, not just the performances. Ask for commitments, not just apologies. Setting clear terms shows maturity. It also protects you from repeating pain. And finally, love yourself ferociously. Nothing is more dangerous to someone who treats you as expendable than a woman who loves herself fiercely. Self-love is not selfishness. It is survival. Love yourself enough to quit the games, the bargaining, and the drama. Love yourself enough to demand respect, to live fully, and to walk away when love is conditional. Love yourself enough to let absence do the work truth could not. Let me end this the way any powerful lesson should be sealed, with a truth that holds through time. You do not need to destroy anyone to become whole. Destruction leaves ashes. Creation leaves communities, joy and peace. Build yourself so well that his absence does not destroy you. Build yourself so well that his return would require him to be different, stronger, realer than he was when he left. That is the only kind of comeback that matters, one where the person who returns is worthy of the place you reserved for someone you will never again settle for. Stand tall. Breathe. Live. Boundaries are your friends. Silence is your shield. Progress is your weapon. And your life, unapologetically lived, is the most beautiful consequence of choosing yourself. Silence and boundaries speak louder than chasing, because silence is not empty, it is power, it is presence, it's the voice of self-control that tells the other person you are not going to beg for attention, you are not going to lower your value to make yourself seen, you are not going to stand still, you stand still, you stand firm, you stand calm, and that calm unsettles people more than people more than and then she has become silent when he's the person who's silent, because who can stay silent, who hold because the from the cura, who boundaries are the walls that protect your dignity, and without them, people will walk into your life with muddy shoes and leave their dirt all over your soul. They will take advantage of your kindness. They will consume your time. They will drain your energy because you allowed them to. Without boundaries, love turns into tolerance, and tolerance exhaustion. But when you draw in the line, when you say, is what I will line in our raise when I'll put it with I will never not harsh you. At what point in our wish they say about your soul, silence is often mistaken for weakness, but in reality it is one of the sharpest weapons you can carry, because silence forces people to sit with themselves, to hear their own emptiness. And when you do not give them access to your energy, they realize how valuable that energy was. Realize how your absence is. They realize in a space you took up in a life. That beggars who are naturally bigger, they're not better than argue with. It is why it speaks louder than anybody. It's why it speaks Chasing is the language of desperation. It is a confession that you believe someone else is the source of your worth. It is the silent admission that you fear being without them more than you value being with yourself. And that energy will never make anyone respect you. It will only make them run further away, because human nature, not Chandler runs, that cherishes what's still strong. Move is when you chase silence. Because when I cherish you, I say your life is in that moment. Who are you? How you are moving forward. Women fail. Further, Boundaries and silence are the balance between strength and peace. You do not lash out. You do not scream. You do not beg. You simply remove access to yourself. You remove the privilege of your attention. You remove the constant availability that they once took for granted. And in that removal, you force them to reflect. You force them to see what life is like, what that was, where at explanations, but in the undeniable reality of your absence. Because people only what when losing you, when losing loves it, you vulnerable, you force them to watch. When you live with boundaries, you do not fear being alone because you understand that solitude with self-respect is better than companionship without it. You understand that peace is more valuable than chaos disguised. As love, you understand that the person who ignores you is not the one, beg them, you do not, that heart, instead you hold your hand in power. Continue what hand in the war, always, you were always, you gate, floor, and that realization is the working of war. Why? More on the floor. Silence is not just the absence of words, it is the refusal, the presence of discipline. Who did not deserve it, it is the declaration that not everyone has earned your voice, not every the right to hear your voice, not everyone has earned the right to occupy your mental and emotional space. And so you protect your energy by keeping it into your growth, by pouring it, keeping it for yourself, by investing in Boundaries also teach you to separate what you want from what you need, because sometimes we want the attention of someone who is not capable of giving what we truly need, and that is, we're suffering. When you have boundaries, you remind yourself that you will not settle for a fraction of anything. You remind yourself when you deserve a lot of self that you will not sacrifice respect. You remind yourself you would not sacrifice creating skills for something better because you will not, because you could not be yourself. We will not suffer yourself. What this worry, whatever is where suffering, love, chasing creates an illusion of closeness, but in reality, it only creates distance. Because the more you chase, the further they run, but silence creates curiosity, and curiosity them question it. It makes them doubt it, makes them replay the moments when they thought you would always be there, and now that you're not, they feel the emptiness louder than ever before. And then emptiness, they begin to miss you not, because you removed yourself and come to the left not. Losing 4 minutes late mistake, losing worth, losing you. The most powerful lesson you can ever send is the one you never send, is the one you never speaks through your actions. It is the one that echoes in your action. It's the one that is written. Absence is the one written in your silence, when guarded by your boundaries, because words can be ignored, but silence cannot be escaped, and boundaries cannot be escaped, and pines and crimes consequence. So when someone in order to destroy their ego with insults, you destroy their ego. With insults, you destroy their ego. With silent insults, you destroy their ego. With you or for this well. It sounds like says you destroy one world. Respect is not a luxury, it is the foundation of every connection, because without respect, love survive. Without respect, trust cannot stand. Without respect, communication cannot thrive. And when you ignore the absence of respect, you are not choosing love, you are choosing it, because choosing, because that is fear of has an affection, and hey, when finding whether it's the wet one, who decided to stop niggas work. I figured it was where you worry and rule. There is a power that rises within you the moment you decide to no longer settle for being treated less than you deserve. And that power is visible to everyone around you. Your walk becomes firmer, clearer, your voice becomes steadier, because now you know you are no longer at the mercy of someone else's choices. You are no longer waiting for them to validate you. You are no longer dependent on the words. Let me use you. Remind me of your word. You are not the word of the non-settle, or you are as some more. I just do you don't know if someone from your own line of honor. Walking away is not about revenge. It is not about making someone feel small. It is not about proving you are stronger. It is about, from the poison of disrespect, it is about preserving your peace from the chaos of neglect. It is about protecting your heart from the emptiness of being unseen. And when you walk away, you telling yourself for better and ready for real, not people as people to be counter because they already know what language of love or already know who this or this world or the way revert you with honor. Respect is the currency of relationships, and the moment you let it slide, you set the standard for how low the bar can go. If you excuse disrespect once, you will excuse it again. If you tolerate neglect once, you will tolerate it again. If you allow it again, and before now, you're in a cycle of accepting less and less until there is not a lot again but that. You know, that's what less and say that. When you leave, you shock the live well. Should you probably be able to realize lie. There is a quiet strength in the decision to walk away because it does not come with drama. It does not come with explanation. It does not come with shouting. It comes with silence. It comes with dignity. It comes with the calm assurance that you do not need to fight for a place where you were never valued in the first place. That silence in their mind. A woman's echoes louder than whispers. God at whisper, like can wickedly words, but they cannot argue with your with your when we were with recordings, why long. Walking away does not mean you stopped loving. It means you started respecting yourself more. It means you realize that love without honor is not love worth keeping. It means you chose to love it when respect was no longer being served, and that choice is not easy. With pain, it comes with tears, it comes with loneliness. But on the other side of that, loneliness is free from the words of clarity. On the other side of that silence is strength. The ego more. Nothing that destroys the ego that behind by the very one that is who made us behind, remember we want you with. This respect is the seed from which love grows, but when that seed is missing, no matter how much water you pour, no matter how much sunlight, patience you show, nothing will bloom, because soil without respect is barren, and trying to grow love in it will only exhaust you empty. But when you walk away from barren soil, you find a fertile ground where love and respect and we stand in that big place. You will wonder why you ever begged for what should were freely given. What of all place. There is nothing selfish about walking away from someone who does not value you, because your life is not meant to be spent convincing someone to see what is already obvious. Your life is not meant to be wasted on proving you're worth. Your life is not meant to be diminished into someone else's ignorance. You live fully, freely, and respectfully. And when you walk away, you reclaim it. Let voice you the beauty of it all is. You no longer claim your validation because the relationship with anyway, moving forward. More before walking away is not about punishing them. It is about liberating you. It is not about destroying their pride. It is about protecting your peace. It is about honoring yourself. And when you make that choice, you are not just walking away from a pattern. You are walking away from a cycle. You are walking away from a history, an orphan history being unseen. And when you close that door, you open yourself to speaking freely where love is not forced, it is mutual where it presents. It's not forced, it's liquid address war. Was racing away, lightweight, you wouldn't wander yourself, you wouldn't. Respect yourself enough to leave the table when the meal no longer feeds your soul, because your life is too precious to be wasted on empty bottomlets. Your heart is too valuable to part, is too brilliant to be trapped in spaces that do not see your shine. And when you finally choose to walk away, you will see how free you are, you will see you always were. And those who will see Christ either not because you progress. I want to demand it was really more we were. Usually what you want to do really black was your wallway.